that can't be healthy. You can't just sit around on your fucking computer on Facebook and Twitter and just bitch about life all day and how like shitty your country is, but then like not lift a fucking finger. Like, you can't fucking do both of those things. How is Bernie Sanders like the most socialist liberal dude, and that dude wants to bring fucking down the corporations that you all complained were destroying the country anyway? Like, what the fuck? Come on. Like, you just want your dude to do it. We're so concerned about liberals and conservatives and Democrats and Republicans. It's just like, dude, stop fucking worrying about it. Like, deal with it. That's like, is that oppressing you? To tell you, look, just fucking eat shit for a little bit. Here's how the country works. In a hierarchy or some kind of chain of command, someone on the bottom has to eat shit. But there has to be a bottom. And the top doesn't eat shit. And that's great. What happened recently, or what's been happening, is that now our kind of totem pole is getting a little juggled. And some people who didn't eat shit before are starting to eat shit now. We'll just call them white people. And that pisses off white people. And I get it. Not one of us owned slaves, and so because I wasn't a slave owner, hop, skip, and a jump, white privilege doesn't exist. Okay, I've heard that argument before. I'm not going to go into that one just yet. My point is, someone has to eat shit, and no one wants to do it. So when we're complaining that, oh, gays and trans people have it, and women have it so fucking easy because they're so above scrutiny, they always turn around and go, hey, look, dude, like, just fucking, it's not you. I mean, it is you, but like, when they go like, oh, when they hate masculinity, or when they hate harmful gender stereotypes, 99% of the time, they're like, it's not you. If you're not doing it, it's not you. Just fucking brush it off. Because it's what they've been doing for so long. You know? Just like, hey, do you think it's exhausting, all this PC bullshit? Well, imagine living the opposite. And like, that's kind of where, like, I believe white privilege exists. I think I'm a pretty educated dude. I still make mistakes, and maybe I even get frustrated at political correctness sometimes, but you know what? It doesn't bother me on a personal level. I just take the correction and I move on. You know? Just go like, look, don't take it. I mean, yes, it could be personal, but like, don't let it get to you. If someone says you're fucked up and you think they're wrong, just fucking correct yourself, man. Don't like, by doing, like, by trying to piss them off, by going, fine, I'll use the word faggot more now because I know it pisses you off. Well, like, now you're just being a fucking asshole. And now you are being like the bad guy. But we love being the bad guy. We love pissing people off in this country. It's just such a fucking childish thing, man. Like, what if we all stopped doing that? What if we all stopped truly fucking complaining and just like accepted the change and just worked it out? You know? I hope this, like, it's civil rights. It's what it is. It's a civil rights movement for a group that is not one group. The LGBTQA, lot of letters, is not one group. It's one community, but it's not just one group of people. Trans people might not really benefit from gay rights, but they will benefit from like work rights, and it's a lot of things right now. And I think people, when it was black rights, it was all black people. But now it's not all gay people, or all trans people, or all queer people. You know, it's like, oh, you know, that guy could be gay. Oh, that guy might be gay. But you know, like, oh, that guy's definitely black or white. So it's like, we're having trouble identifying who is really impacted by it. And I think that makes people kind of nervous. To go like, wait, can I say this gay joke because that dude could be gay? And you know, like, yeah, it's a valid concern. I'll be honest, we're not all perfect. We all have racist, fucking homophobic thoughts. They're not like real. They're just in the ether of your brain. They're just a brain fart. They're just this podcast right now. But you don't say them out loud. A mistake that I am making right now. But even if I offended somebody, I would never not apologize to them. And that's just me growing up. Like, if you offend somebody, just apologize. If it's not a big deal to you and it's a bigger deal to them, just be the bigger person and apologize. It's no skin off your fucking back. Like, if they're dicks about it, well, now they're dicks about it, and let them go. But if you had a black friend who didn't like your black jokes and you refused to stop doing them, and then he went, all right, fine, fuck you, dude. If you're gonna be a fucking racist, we're not friends anymore. And then he leaves, and then your last words are, fine, fucking no one cares, you butt-hurt fucking pussy baby. Like, you're gonna look back on that, and if you think you're in the right, then I can't help you. You know, I value everyone's opinion, but sometimes opinions are just fucking wrong. You know? And I think that's one of them. I think people who are arguing for the sake of being a contrarian, for the sake of your rebel pride and your First Amendment, you just creating strife doesn't help anybody. And I think you know that. And I hope you figure that out. It is not a fucking rebel statement. It's not you just saying what everyone's thinking. It's not you being a victim of the politically correct, fucking PC generation. It's you being an asshole and someone called you out. And don't puff up your chest when you're called out, because now you're fucking sensitive. Now you're the one that people have a problem with. We all want to be the fucking victim. And that goes for everybody, me included, conservatives, liberals, blacks, whites, gays, straights. Everyone wants to be on the fucking little guy side. We all want to be the fucking underdog. And I wish that we all just kind of stepped back, thought about it, and changed. I think there's a lot of differing opinions in this country, and I'm glad that we can have dialogue. I'm glad if it brings about a dialogue. I had a friend who legitimately did not like gay marriage, but he wasn't a prick about it. And I would talk to him about it, and he would kind of he would be pretty understanding. He'd be like, no, dude, it's not that I hate gay people. It's not that I hate gay people. It's that I just don't like homosexuality. And I was like, all right, well, how do you explain that? And he was like, think of it this way. I don't hate Seahawks fans. I just don't like football. And I went, there's no, I was uncomfortable. I was like, that makes sense, but there's no way that's the same thing. But I get what he was trying to say. In his mind, he was trying to downplay it. And I went, all right. Okay. At least you have a concrete opinion and you realize it's unpopular. But you're not saying I'm wrong. It's just an opinion. And maybe that's okay. When it came time to vote, he would probably vote against legalized gay marriage, and that's for him to do. When it came time for me to legalize marijuana, I voted in favor, other people didn't. I didn't fight about it, I wasn't angry, because it fucking passed, and I won in the end. But I think we have a problem with losing in this country. Whenever we compromise on a belief, or a law, or a moral, it's seen as a betrayal to those who hold on to it. People go, oh, weed's been illegal forever, why is it legal now? That's just it's a moral breakdown of society. And they go, no, it's not, it's just outdated. People talk about the Bible being outdated, and that does sound like an attack on Christianity. And I get why that would make people upset, People, of course, if I were a faithful person and someone were attacking my religion, I would be upset about it. I would be angry. Because I believe a lot of arguments on Christianity do kind of attack people. I think a lot of Christians are very, very nice, generous, cool people. And a lot of them have no problem with gay marriage, like have no problem with any liberal political issue. I think a lot of them are just like, yeah, I'm a kind, caring, generous, loving human. And if God is the reason for that, well then so be it. You know? I had friends who they know that it was kooky. They're like, yeah, I know that my religion's kind of weird sometimes. And yeah, maybe it might say some things that sound a little outdated, but it's given me a lot of happiness. And they're the ones that go, well, if I donate because I don't want to go to hell, you know, and you don't donate, I'm really doing the better action here, right? You go like, yeah, but you're motivated by hell. And they go, well, so what? What's your motivation? You know, like, why don't you lift a fucking finger? And they kind of called me out. I had a buddy in the military who called me out because I never donated money. And I was never like a bigot towards Christianity. Maybe I had a spiteful phase where I questioned him about it. And he said he donated money out of the kindness of his heart, and because it was one of like the tenets of his faith was to help those less fortunate. And I go, yeah, but would you donate if you were an atheist? And he would go, I don't know, I'm not an atheist, but I would probably do it. Why won't, and do you donate? And I said, yeah, like once. And I kind of was kind of embarrassed a little bit. You know, it was all in good fun. It wasn't like he was angry at me, but he was like, well, why don't you donate? You know? He was like, what's your excuse? And it was kind of calling on like the charity of your character, going, if you think you're such a good fucking human, why don't you prove it? You don't have to donate a lot. Who's the philosopher that said this shit? It was the Australian dude. He was the fucking utilitarian guy. He was on Colbert. I learned about him in ethics class. I don't know. He was the one that talked about giving to the point of marginal utility. And going, what if we all gave as much money as we could to like those who literally died every day from like starvation? You know, like I think the number was like 18,000 children a day died from preventable, causes. Be it starvation, dehydration, preventable diseases, things like that. 18,000 children a day, 5 million annually. And that's just kids. And that number is way higher. People talk about hating refugees. People talk about like hating giving money to the lazy. And like, everyone was lazy. Oh, the homeless are lazy. Oh, the weak, oh, they don't have a job that has benefits. They're fucking lazy. Fuck them. Like, dude, it's such a dick thing to do. Like, but, who was that fucking guy's name? Anyway, he talked about actually not giving money in the United States. He was like, for $100, you could help like 2 people or 3 people here. You could help 100 people in Africa. And just because they're farther away from you doesn't make them any less important. And that was a very good point. And I remembered that when I donated to the refugees. And maybe I did it to be fucking smug for a little bit and think of how cool I was. But I was like, you know what, he's got a good point. Like, we should be more charitable. Like, it shouldn't be like this political fucking move. We shouldn't have to write it off every tax season. We shouldn't have to like post it on Facebook. Because then it's not a sacrifice, it's a trade. It's like you're trading $5 for the admiration of everyone on your fucking Tumblr blog. And like, yeah, maybe I do it too. I'm guilty. We all want recognition. But it's like, if we want too much recognition, it's not really a sacrifice. It's a trade. And it somehow doesn't feel as helpful. It feels more selfish. It's like an ulterior motive, And I think we just have too many ulterior motives. Like, we're all too scared of losing in this country, in this world. Me too. I'm afraid of losing too much. Like, what if I give too much and now I can't make my rent and then I get kicked out and then I'm homeless